All right, guys, so today I got another mind-blowing chart here for you guys. Look at this. If I take out right over here the Bitcoin halving here back in July of 2016, and I kind of just match it up right over here from the halving to the autumn high. Look at this. It took about this time. Then if I go here to this autumn high, it was on May 11, 2020. You guys can remember that one. After that big crash, we can also see it pretty much lines up here with the autumn high. So very, very close here to the autumn high. So now, if I'm going to line it up with the halving that we got here this year in April 2024, what can you see? Well, according to this chart, in the last two previous cycles, so the second halving and the third halving, we would saw an autumn high around the current level after the autumn high in terms of the time that has passed. So what is really happening here to the Bitcoin price? I've told you guys here in many of my videos, I still believe we are going to be heading here to about 200,000 US dollar. Why are we not getting close to that? Well, with this chart over here, for example, this is called the diminishing golden curves here. And what we are actually seeing right over here is that the target here is going to be very closer to 200,000 US dollar. So maybe it's probably going to be a little bit more in my opinion. But as you can see, it's quite extremely closer to my target. But we are not coming anywhere close to that. Why are we not hitting it? Why are we waiting here behind? Well, one thing that I kind of have been thinking about here for the last couple of days is that this cycle has been completely weird. So what we can actually see here is that we got here the autumn high around this exact level right over here. Now, the weird thing is that in the previous halving, for example, here back in 2020, we were trading here about 50% down here from the previous autumn high. So you can see here where this red line is. That's kind of where the halving was. And you can see that the Bitcoin price was nowhere near this all-time high. Now, currently what we are seeing is we're seeing a very, very weird cycle where we have broken the autumn high and then got a halving. And what kind of the thing was that people kept saying over and over again, and this was kind of the thing that people, well, kept saying up until here the point in 2024, is that Bitcoin would never set an autumn high before a halving. But what we actually got here is we did actually got the autumn high here, and we did actually manage to continue here to the upside after the halving. So this cycle in its entirety has been completely different than the last previous cycles. Now, we also know, for example, that the Bitcoin cycles, they line up with, for example, the gold rallies, the M2 money supply, the dollar index, the stock market rallies. They're all kind of correlated with each other. And we're also kind of seeing right now is that it's apparently it seems like Bitcoin is going to need more time here to reach the target here up around 200,000 US dollar. Now, the thing is that this cycle reminds me a little bit of 2017, where you had these big moves here to the upside, followed by these big corrections. And eventually we did see that in like the last month of the bull run, the price tripled. So we could technically say, well, maybe we are somewhere close here to the last month here of this bull run. Maybe we're going to have like November, we're going to break out on high. December, it's going to go crazy. It's going to go to 200K, one push to the upside. That could be completely normal. But anyway, this cycle in its entirety has been completely weird. And what is going to be happening right now? Well, that is going to be very, very interesting. Now, as you guys do know, I still have my position open, as you guys can see right over here, which up 12,000 US dollars. I'm still going to hold this level, still have my stop loss over here. And I still believe we are going to be recovering. I mean, we were very close here breaking the autumn high until this whole tariff thing kind of blew us to the downside. We still see the Tether market cap is up. We got all these altcoins, these crappy coins, all these liquidations, which is, I'd say, generally good as well. We got a pretty strong buyback, and I was able to kind of long here as well here around the bottom, as you guys can actually see over here as well. So I'm just going to continue to hold this trade, and I am just going to wait it out a little bit and see what's going to happen. Now, if you guys, as you guys know, you guys do want to actually trade on Bluefin as well. If you just go right over here to the website, just check out the link in the description. And if you want to join here the private VIP Telegram where I share my exclusive trades, all you have to do is just sign up here with Bluefin here, get this massive deal, or sign up with Bybit here as well. Any of these exchanges here, and fill in your user ID, and then I will add you here to the private channel where I'm sharing all of my free trades. I also have a DCA calculator on the website if you want to start buying Bitcoin on DCA. I also have some free indicators for you guys here to check out here as well. So I've got lots of stuff here on the website. You want to check it out, check out the link in the description. But anyway, yeah, what is going to be the strategy right now? Well, I think everybody right now, which is holding Bitcoin, is pretty clueless on what's going to happen here with the Bitcoin price. I think everyone is pretty clueless because basically what we're seeing right now is, again, the cycle has been completely different. It's a little bit more unpredictable like what we've seen in the past, but I think it's going to depend a lot, for example, on what the dollar is going to do, the M2 money supply. We are currently seeing that the dollar is quite down, and we did actually see, for example, that these major bull runs, for example, the 2020 bull run, 2021 here happened when the dollar index was declining. And also we saw the same thing right over here in 2017. Here you can kind of see, maybe a little bit harder to see in mobile, but you can actually see on the left the dollar index goes down and then the Bitcoin price here goes up. So currently we've had this big decline here in the dollar index, and the Bitcoin price, I mean, it has basically done nothing. I mean, we did of course have this big pump here to the upside after the dollar already declined here in 2022. But after this decline, we've basically seen nothing. I mean, we've seen a small puff to the upside. If the dollar index is going to break one more time to the downside, then that could potentially be quite an interesting setup here for the Bitcoin price, especially if it breaks back here to some of the 2021 levels. Let's see if that's actually going to be happening here with all of those tariff stuff going on. But you can also see that the gold price is rallying very, very strongly to the upside. So there should be plenty of liquidity. If gold kind of gets a correction, that's going to be interesting for Bitcoin as well. Stocks look very, very juicy. So everything's in terms of liquidity looks very fine, looks very amazing. And so what I would still assume is that we're still going to break it to the 200,000 US dollar. It's just going to be a little bit of a weird cycle. We're a little bit overvalued early in the cycle. So maybe it's just going to take a little bit more time because of that. And I think eventually we are still going to break it to the 200,000 level. I still think it's probably going to take a couple of few months. But this cycle could be completely different, where we might just go sideways here for literally until like the next summer, and then we're going to hit that target. But regardless of that, I'm still holding my Bitcoin. I'm not going to looking to sell them. If you look also at the MicroStrategy, that one also looking a little bit bad. I mean, we talked about MetaPlanet also in the last video. I mean, the miners are doing quite well because they're kind of pivoting to AI. So the miner stocks are doing quite well, and that's going to be quite good. It's going to maybe remove some sell pressure from Bitcoin in the short term. With all of these AI investments, there's not going to be much need to sell these Bitcoins as well. So I think we're kind of at a crossroad a little bit. I think we got to just be smarter as a trader. Sometimes there's just these periods where just really you just got to kind of wait, and you just kind of got to see what's going to happen. And I always say it like, imagine you're a wolf and you want to catch a sheep. Like, you can run like a crazy wolf and you can run after every sheep that you see, or you can just wait in the bushes and you can just kind of wait and observe and just kind of see the sheep herd move, and maybe you can see like a baby sheep or a sick sheep, and as a wolf you can get that because that's an easy target. And that's what we're doing right now. We're just going to observe a little bit of what's happening. We're going to see, okay, what are the weaknesses? What are the strengths? And from that, we're going to be able to attack on the right moment. That is basically here what I'm doing. Is I'm waiting for this price here to give me a hint. And based on that, I'm going to play that out. So that's what this trade also is about. It's a small trade. We're starting small here. And let's see where that is going to go. Now, with that, I want to end the video. I hope to see you guys, of course, in my next video. Bye-bye.